Ever feel like you're playing a game, but you don't really know the rules? Like you're stuck on a financial treadmill, running hard, but just not getting anywhere? Well, I'm here to tell you that feeling, it's not in your head. It's by design. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the whole system.
The truth is, the normal financial path, the one we're all taught, is basically a well-oiled trap. You know the drill. Go to work, get a paycheck, spend it, take on some debt, and then try to save whatever crumbs are left over. This cycle is designed to keep the vast majority of people from ever building real generational wealth.
But here's the thing. The wealthy, they don't play by those rules. Not even close. They have a completely different playbook, one that's designed not just to play the game, but to win it. Every single time.
And that entire playbook really boils down to 5 core ideas. 5, let's call them loopholes, that let them completely bypass the trap that catches everyone else. So, let's break them down.
In this explainer, we are going to dive deep into these 5 powerful strategies. And look, this isn't about cheating or doing anything shady. It's about understanding the rules of money so deeply that you can actually use them to your advantage, just like the rich do.
Okay, loophole number 1. And honestly, this might be the most important one because it's not just a tactic, it's a total mindset shift. It's the huge difference between earning your money and owning the things that make money.
You've probably heard this phrase before, right? But it's not just some catchy quote. It's literally the entire philosophy. See, most people trade their time, their life, for a paycheck. The wealthy do the opposite. They build or buy things that spit out cash for them, whether they show up to work or not.
So how exactly do they get their money to work for them? It's simple, really. They own the machine. They own businesses that make profits. They buy stocks, which makes them tiny owners of massive, successful companies. They buy up real estate that pays them rent every single month. The key here is they focus on owning assets, things that generate cash, not just having a job that provides a salary.
Just think about a guy like Warren Buffett. He's one of the richest people on the planet. But why? Is it because he has a great salary? No way. It's because he owns huge chunks of incredible businesses. His shares in companies like Coca-Cola and Apple are making him billions while he, sits around reading. That's the power of ownership.
All right, so once you start owning assets and making money from them, you hit a new problem: taxes. And this brings us to loophole number 2, a big one that most people don't get. It's all about legally and smartly reducing your single biggest expense in life.
And this right here is the magic trick. For a regular employee, the path of your money is set in stone. You earn it, the government immediately takes its slice for taxes, and then you get to spend whatever is left. But for a business owner, the entire order gets flipped on its head. They earn money, then they spend it on legitimate business expenses, things like travel, new computers, rent for an office, and then they pay tax on whatever little profit is left over. That simple reordering changes everything.
And don't think this is just for small companies. I mean, look at a giant, a behemoth like Amazon. There have been years where they made billions in profit and paid 0 in federal income tax. How is that even possible? Simple. They took their profits and poured them right back into growing the company, using every single legal deduction they could find. They spent first, then paid tax later.
Loophole number 3 challenges a belief that's drilled into our heads from childhood, that all debt is bad. Well, the wealthy know that's not true. They know there are 2 kinds of debt, and one of them is an incredibly powerful tool for getting rich.
Okay, so you've got bad debt. We all know this one. It's when you borrow money for stuff that loses value and just sucks money out of your pocket, like a fancy new car or a big vacation. But then there's good debt. This is the total opposite. It's when you borrow money to buy an asset that actually puts money back into your pocket. It's debt that makes you richer.
The guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, is an absolute master of this. He'll go to a bank, get a loan, that's someone else's money, and use it to buy an apartment building. Then, the rent that the tenants pay every month covers the bank loan and all the expenses. Whatever's left over is pure profit in his pocket. And all the while, the building itself is going up in value. He's literally using debt to get wealthy.
Time for loophole number 4. This one is about a silent, invisible force that is constantly eating away at the wealth of savers, but can actually make owners even richer. We're talking about inflation. To put it really simply, inflation just means that your money buys you less tomorrow than it does today. You see it everywhere. The cost of groceries, petrol, everything. It all just seems to creep up over time.
That means the real power of the cash in your wallet is always going down.
Just think about it like this. 10,000 rupees back in 1990, that was a serious amount of money. Today, that same 10,000 buys you just a tiny fraction of what it used to. So if your money has just been sitting in a bank account all this time, it's been quietly losing its power year after year.
Now, here's the kicker. This is the really important part. Inflation punishes people who save cash, but it rewards people who own assets. Why? Well, because as the price of everything goes up, the value of the things that produce those goods and services also goes up. The value of your stocks, your business, your real estate, it all tends to rise right along with inflation, protecting your wealth and even helping it grow.
And that leads us perfectly into our fifth and final loophole. This one is all about changing your focus from playing defense, cutting your spending, to playing offense by massively increasing your income.
Most of the financial advice out there is about budgeting. Skip the coffee, cut back on subscriptions. And look, that's not bad advice, but there's a limit, right? There's only so much you can cut. The wealthy get this. So instead of just trying to save a little more from their one paycheck, they pour their energy into creating multiple, often automated, streams of income.
Just look at a titan of industry like Mukesh Ambani. His wealth is not tied to a single company or a single industry. He's got money flowing in from oil and gas, from telecom, from retail, from all over the place. That means if one area has a slow year, who cares? The cash just keeps pouring in from all the others. That's real financial security.
So we've gone through the 5 big loopholes, but what I really want you to take away from this is that these aren't just 5 separate tricks. They all fit together. They represent a totally different way of thinking, a brand new playbook for how you look at money.
So what's your new action plan? Let's run through it. 1. You've got to shift your brain from just earning to owning. 2. Understand the tax system so you can keep more of the money you make. 3. Learn to use good debt to acquire assets that pay you. 4. You have to invest to beat inflation. And number 5, you've got to build multiple income streams so you're never dependent on just one. Let's be honest, they don't teach this stuff in school. It's almost like they don't want you to know. But the rules are out there. The information is available to anyone who wants to learn it. So now, you know the core principles of the playbook the wealthy have been using for generations. The only question left is, what are you going to do about it?